Welcome to Down to Herf, the podcast for cigar smokers, whiskey drinkers, and for the people just looking to kick back, light up, and have a good time. I'm your host, Jerry, and I'm joined by, as always, my co-host, Gio and Caleb. Fellas, how are we doing on this fine Thursday evening?
Well, just making sure that no storm is coming, so getting an early episode in for us, so it's cool with me.
Yeah, it's a lot earlier than we're normally recording, so we'll see how it goes. Gio, how you doing today, bro?
Good. You know, busy morning.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Storm prep.
What did you have to do, bro?
Absolutely nothing.
Go get some chicken breasts?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't prepare for storms either.
Yeah.
I just wing it.
Well, obviously, it's no secret. You're in his shot. We got two guests in the studio today. We got the guys from Buffalo Happy Hour here right now. How are you guys doing today? I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves, and we'll start with Derek.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us. So,
absolutely.
Like you said, we're Buffalo Happy Hour. My name is Derek, and that is Mike, and we're the co-hosts of another Buffalo podcast that focuses on whiskey. So excited to be here with you guys today.
Awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it, too. We got a lot of good bottles in the house. We got some good cigars to smoke, and we're just praying to God that we don't end up having 7 feet of snow block us in here, because I got a lot of bourbon that I'm not really trying to...
Well, they already changed the Bills game for Sunday, moving it to Detroit on Sunday, so I guess they're scared, but we're not.
Actually, I got to be honest with you, and I don't know how you guys feel about it. You guys all Bills fans?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone Bills fans?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, Pats fans.
I'm happy about this move. And I know we're losing a home game, but did you really want to see Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt run all over the Bills in the snow?
No.
And Josh Allen can't throw the ball?
No.
Correct.
Did you really want to see it?
No, not at all.
And it makes sense, right? I would say that's a pretty good observation.
Yeah, last crazy snow game we had was McCoy, and McCoy can run. I'm not too confident with Singletary.
He took that game over. Yeah. I can't say anything about a guy who had 2 touchdowns last week.
Right.
I mean, if the playbook allowed for it, maybe he would have had a better second half. Who's to say?
We also averaged like 4.6 yards a carry as a team if you remove Josh Allen's stats and just look at the running backs. So it's not like they're all playing terribly.
Right.
We'll be all right.
We'll be fine.
I actually liked Singletary, so I mean, I think he's going to be a huge loss to the Bills next year. I think he's definitely leaving
Really? Why?
because they're not going to pay him.
Yeah.
Why would they pay him?
I mean, all right, that's fair.
And how many running
Hines
backs?
has like 3 years left on his deal.
And then you got Bush, or not Bush,
Cook.
Cook. You got James
yeah.
Cook now.
Yeah.
Who I mean,
Can
he
you
just
imagine-
looks like a better version of his brother, like a younger but bigger version of his brother.
You said Bush, it brought up flashbacks. Can you imagine if Reggie Bush is just like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to Buffalo? That'd be stacked in the backfield.
Like maybe like the Saints Reggie Bush, not the one that had negative yards for the Bills.
Yeah, right.
Reggie Bush, post Kardashian Reggie Bush.
I mean, he was going through a rough time, man. Look at these
Those
careers.
Those girls
after-
will ruin your life. That
agree.
family will ruin your life.
I
You
agree.
date a Kardashian, your career just goes to shit.
All right.
Kanye.
Lamar Odom smoking crack.
Oh yeah, remember he overdosed
Didn't
and
Pete
died.
Davidson-
Chris Humphreys.
Pete
Yeah.
Davidson dated one of them, right?
Reggie Bush.
Kim
yeah.
for a little bit.
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah.
And now he's with M. Radajagowski or something like that.
Oh,
yeah.
Pete Davidson,
Radikowski.
Radikowski.
The model.
Oh yeah.
Right.
What
Oh.
was that
Yeah,
one?
she's a smoke show.
Ray J, who
Where did Ray J
He
go?
hit it first. you
Yo,
know?
that's
that
a
was
good
the slide.
question, Gio. What happened after Superstar? What happened to Ray J?
just makes a Kim Kardashian tweet every now and then to stay relevant. That's Ray J.
All right. So, you guys got to tell me a little about what you guys do. Tell me about your podcast. Tell me about how everything works. Who runs it?
How
I
it
know
got
the two of
started,
guys.
you know?
How it got started. I got to know the story.
So Derek and I became friends in college, early 2010 to mid 2010. Met in college. We were both getting criminal justice degrees. Every time we hung out during school, basically, and then after school, we've seen insane things happening. So we always made a joke: if somebody had a camera, they should follow us. We should be on reality TV just because we've seen insane acts inside of public. We basically made that running joke all through college. We both graduated in 2014 when we linked back up to finish our degrees at a separate college. We used ECC as a springboard to get to a real school.
Listen, no free shout-outs.
No free shout-outs for the prestigious Southwestern University. So the
The Dirty South.
Dirty South, baby. So Southwestern Boulevard. from there, we graduated from college, and then Derek got into golf. He invited me out, and I was like, not my thing. He goes, do it. I was like, fine. We golfed, and then same thing. We seen more insanity on the golf course, and then the same inside joke kept going up. And then I was like, at this point, it's 2014, 2015. We said, why don't we just start a podcast? And this is before like the boom of podcasts, specifically in our area as well. Obviously, you had like the Godfathers, and we tabled it. 6 months went by. He persuaded me to golf again, and then we brought it back up, and then we both pulled out our phones, hit our notepad, and we both brain dumped ideas on how we could do it, what we could do it on, and we started it. So started going on 3.5 years ago, and it pivoted multiple times from what we originally wanted it to be, and now we're essentially moving into marketing, developing commercials for small businesses. We've worked with over 150 small businesses around Western New York, and we feature them on our show for an hour for free. It's free advertising for them. We hear about what their business is straight from the business owner's mouth, and then we post it on every major podcast platform we can. And then we started technically in 2019, just in time for the pandemic. We never stopped, and then we just kept going. So never look back.
I wish we would have had something like this in 2009, like, you know, early
days of the
2020,
pandemic.
like to 2021 when things were fucking very hectic and ridiculous.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot more episodes.
Can
We
you
were just
imagine?
playing
we didn't
video
have anything
games.
to do. Yeah, we were just playing video
Mortal
games.
Kombat.
Yeah, just hanging out in here. So this was all bare walls at that point. Mm-hmm. There was nothing on the walls. There was, I mean, no bourbon, nothing.
A
There
TV.
There was. We did always have a TV though, and there
And a
was always
fridge.
internet and a fridge. That was it.
And a propane heater.
Oh yeah, we had this propane heater that definitely would probably kill you if you left it on too long.
No kidding.
Like the carbon monoxide, everyone would pass out and die.
What was the heater like? Was it the old school one, or was it like the Cyclone one that would just blow a flame?
We got the Cyclone one, and we always burned the whole garage down. The wood in the corner at the top started like charring. I was like, "Oh, this is not good. Like this is bad.
was like,
This is
"Eey."
really, really bad."
That Joyce is legitimately charred.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you see it. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's shot.
yeah,
It's coming down.
yeah. It smelled great.
Yeah, right.
Actually decorative.
It's rustic.
We never painted it.
We should probably sister it just
agree.
for structural support, but we can talk about that later. So how did you guys start? Was it just three friends that just enjoyed whiskey and cigars and said, screw it, let's just do this?
I'm gonna let Gio take this one away. I feel like he remembers it a little better than I do.
We were pretty shit-faced. And sitting the old version of the garage, which was essentially two like lawn chairs in these exact same positioning. And I'm like, we should start a podcast. And then randomly, as we got drunker, the names started flowing. And I'm looking of like things that are relative. We'll just talk about cigars because it's the easiest time conversation comes through. And I found like Herf,
He found the word Herf.
What is it? What does Herf mean?
just a group of people smoking and drinking.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so-
awesome.
Just what we're doing.
Yeah.
So, when I heard the definition of it, it was just a group of guys sitting around shooting shop and smoking premium cigars.
Can you use it in a sentence for me?
Yeah, you down to Herf?
Love it.
Question mark.
I like that. That's organic.
That's a plug in the show. So that's how you do it right there.
That was
Yeah.
plugception.
So how did you transition into having people on?
Jerry actually met our first guest, Miguel, at Nickel City Cigars, and Miguel loved the name of the show. He liked Jerry, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll come down to your garage." And Miguel was our first guest, and
So
we ran with it.
Yeah.
when I met Miguel, he asked me a little about the podcast. He's like, "Well, what's it called?" I'm like, "It's called Down to Herf." He's like, "I love it," because like if you're a cigar industry guy, you know what a Herf is. So he's like, "I love that. Why did nobody ever think of this? Like, why did no one ever use this name?" He's like, "I would trademark that before someone tries to steal it from you."
Yeah.
You know, he's like, it's obviously a play on down to earth, but it's down to Herf. So, yeah, I mean, the guy liked it, and then we transitioned into. I somehow convinced the second most important person in Crown Head's company to come and sit in my garage when there was like almost nothing in it, you know, and have an interview with us. I mean, it was pretty crazy. You know, he was like the second most important guy in that entire company.
Damn.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with Crown Heads at all. You guys smoke any Crown Heads?
Crown Heads, no, but we've worked with Tommy And
Yeah, so you
and
get that all
he's
there.
he's
Yep.
a stud. So
Yep.
his network is vast, obviously.
Yeah, I seen you guys did a podcast with him too. Speaking of like local small business and everything, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a trip. So it was nice to go.
He's something.
Yeah, go to his spot and then just talk about like the business aspect. I'm sure you guys seen it, but it's it was just a really nice conversation to have with him because he's super knowledgeable, and obviously having a tobacco establishment in New York is a plethora of issues. So hearing his side of it, where the state was like, God bless, I mean that's pretty interesting because they know it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, when you sit down with somebody for this long of time, you get some information out of them that you can't get if you just go into their establishment. So that's kind of the cool part about doing the podcast and interviewing small businesses is like people wouldn't have known that Tommy did all this research when he was in his like medical field about how cigars and like relaxing and de-stressing actually does more for your heart than people think it does, because everybody thinks that you just smoke one and you die. It's like, that's not what this is. So it's cool to hear that aspect from a business owner that you wouldn't really get.
That's how my
normally.
wife acts.
Yeah, right.
She's like, oh, another cigar, huh? Just getting closer and closer to the grave.
Just time is winding down on the clock.
That's how she acts, man.
Yeah.
Does she like the smell of them or no?
I don't think anybody likes the smell of them unless you smoke them.
I do.
Not
yeah,
true.
yeah.
My wife likes the smell, but she doesn't smoke.
Really?
Yeah, I
So-
hit a gold mine, man.
When I
Yeah, she's not smoking all
when
your
I
cigars.
can smell
so
a
that's plus.
cigar that I'm not smoking, it smells 40 times better.
Fair.
I don't like if you're not smoking a cigar and you smell cigar smoke, it smells a million times better. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's like, you know, you're sitting on the green and your buddy's smoking a cigar. You're a golfer, you know how that is.
Oh, yeah.
That smells everywhere.
The best.
There's nothing worse though on a golf course. You see like a fucking cigar that somebody took like 3 puffs of, left it on the green, and then left.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah, it's like,
know
what are
that
you
they're-
doing?
Yeah. Well, you also know that they're probably crying because they're like, I left my. It's different than leaving a pitching wedge. The pitching wedge, you're like, I'll just buy a new pitching wedge. I left my cigar there. Are you kidding me?
Hell no, I'm going back to the next guy behind me, and I'm like, yo, did you find my pitching wedge? And that happens usually once or twice around. So if you're playing behind me, I apologize.
It probably happened when we went this summer.
It absolutely did. I was like, fuck, I think I left it back there like 3 holes ago.
Yeah.
The guys behind me were like, hey, man, you want this wedge? It's like the dude in Happy Gilmore. Hey, you want your 9-iron?
Yeah.
Catches it one hand.
Terrible. Terrible.
All right, so I got a question, you guys.
Shoot.
What we're drinking, you guys gotta let us know about it. I just gotta say, I'm getting like some cream soda-ish vibes from there. Smells, little taste, and I know you said it's a little higher proof. I can feel a little bit of bite, but it's going down smooth. So, cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
This
Thank
is
you.
really good.
So you've guys recently sat down with Hopper, and we've
Great dude.
Yeah, we immediately hit it off with him, obviously through Addie's, and with Hopper, when he first came over here and got involved in Addie's reached out to us the first day and said, you need to have this guy on your show. He's a stud. We're like, all right, sounds good. And we were told, like, be advised, it's going to be difficult to understand him because he's legit off the boat. I'm just like, all right, we'll make it work. But, like, now we have to have him on, right? Like, where else are you going to get that in Buffalo? Sat down with him, and we built this relationship with him that's very organic. He's just a fantastic, as you know, super down to earth. And he's just real. He's just a dude that wants you to drink the juice, enjoy it, and then he lets the product do the talking for him. His job is almost done for him because the distillery is just spot on with everything.
Which is very weird because the first time that we met him, I'm a nerd. I'll be the first one to admit it. And I like getting down and dirty into like mash bills and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, I'm like, what's the mash bill? He's like, just drink it. I'm like, all right.
He
So I
shot
just
it
drank
up.
it. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, he shot everything down. He's like, dude, shut up, drink the juice. Like, straight out. And we're like, all right, sounds good. So we did. And we went through all the SKUs that were in the store. And after that, a couple months went by, and then we're like, well, let's partner with Addie's and Clonakilty, and let's do a single barrel with him. So we did a full tasting, couple Addie's employees, Tyler, and then Hopper, Derek, and myself. And this was actually the very first sample of the entire night. And then we did a couple afterwards, and I'm like, I still like that first one. What do you think? And it was interesting because me and Derek and Hopper were having a total different conversation from the rest of the group just with our eyes. And Tyler was kind of catching on, but Tyler was also like feeling it towards the end of the tasting. And I was like, I still like the first one. Tyler agreed. Me, Derek, and Hopper were just like, that's it. It was just kind of like one of those conversations where you just look and nod and everyone understands the same thing. We revisited it at the end and we, as a group, selected it. So what it is, it's 114 proof. and it's their whiskey that's then finished in a French white dessert wine, which is it's a Sauterne wine. So we took that barrel and then finished it in that barrel. And this was the second single barrel that we've done in our since we were founded, and having the logistical, not issues, but obstacles with our first single barrel, we were well versed and way more educated in the back end of releasing a single barrel. So we sat down with Hopper and we're like, when can this actually show up? It's obviously an Irish whiskey. The whole thing is done by hand in Ireland. How does that work? He's like, dude, I can get this to you next week. It's already in Jersey. I'm like, all right. So he's playing chess, and that's what makes Hopper, right? And when it arrived, then we're like, all right. So we worked with our graphic designer, came up with our own label, and because of the amount of barrels in New York state law, Clonakilty has its own label on the bottles already. So then Derek and I put each label by hand on each bottle, and then with our pre-orders from our audience, we hand signed each bottle. And then the head distiller, the old head distiller who made this, came to the States. We went to Lucky Day, hung out with him, and then he hand signed 18 bottles. So the very first 18 pre-orders from our audience, they got our signatures on each bottle as well as the head distiller on the bottle, and he put it in between each label. So obviously people kept the bottles after they drank the juice, but it's a nice smooth whiskey it's not like all heat where it just makes you feel like you're drinking fire. And obviously their mash bill's phenomenal.
Are you guys like collectors? Did you guys keep your bottles? Like, do you have one that's not open that
Correct.
you never open?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I figured. Because
Yeah.
I feel like if we ever do that, that's definitely what I'll do.
Yeah, we got bottle number 1 is in our studio for both of them. Bottle number 2 for both of them are in my office. Bottle number 3 for both of them are in his office, and then we split it up from there. So like trying to keep those unopened just for the historical aspect of it, that'd be sweet to keep forever. Like every single barrel we do, let's just keep the same number.
You could always say, hey, check it out. If I ever feel like cracking this one day,
Right.
it's always there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know. I'm a little like,
Sentimental.
yeah, sentimental, but I'm also like a hoarder.
There's,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's
You can
elements
notice
of
in
it.
your cigar collection.
When
You're
it comes
definitely
to
a
his
hoarder.
cigars, he gets like fucking Schmiegel real quick. He's like,
No, stop. I'm always
fucking
willing to give people cigars.
It's the same thing with this, though, just because it's a single barrel, so you're not going to get a lot. So with this, there's only 300 total bottles, and lower bottle numbers are super hard to come by. And then our audience has like specific numbers. So we have Patreons. For some reason, we're blessed enough to have Patreons for our show. And so thank you to all Patreons. And they, our one Patreon always gets bottle 82 because he served in the 82nd. So he always gets bottle 82. So every time we do something cool or something, we always kind of market 82 for him and ship it out. So it's just small touches, but it just makes it that much more special.
We actually talked about doing a Patreon of some sort. Like we have our main show, which is this.
Yeah.
Like the Down to Herf show where we have like guests on, which, we never want to deprive anybody of. But we also do so much like the After Herf show, which is where we go over a lot of sports and we do like current events and we do a lot more like
The
today stuff.
the weekly news, yeah.
So
Sure.
just trying to figure out a Patreon would be tough, but
Yeah.
I like the idea of it.
How many episodes you guys release a week?
One.
Just one? Okay.
One and one After Herf. The After
okay,
Herf is
cool.
just kind of like your weekly update, like what's happening in sports and
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that would
if
be
something
easy to do,
crazy
though.
happened in the news, we would definitely talk about
Right.
that. But
That'd be easy though to just dedicate that for Patreon.
That's only like a 35 minutes to 45 minute show.
Yeah.
It's nothing crazy.
Okay.
So I guess we'd have to figure it out. It's something I don't know if you guys ever thought you'd do Patreon stuff, but
Down
No.
to Herf is
No.
going to get bottle number 69.
I was just gonna say,
that.
someone already laid claim to that.
100%,
Oh,
and it was immediate. It wasn't even within it wasn't even a topic of discussion. It's like, that's mine. It's like, understood.
Oh man, I totally would have been that guy asking for bottle number 69. That's definitely me.
and he would have shot you down.
Well, now I already know.
Yeah.
I like the part of the story where you all shoot yourselves each other's like that look. You ever see the meme of the dude in the woods with the beard? He's just kind of like,
Yeah.
It's exactly what it was.
so that's kind of how that reminded.
Yeah, but it's funny because then you realize how quick you are an alcoholic. Because when we were reviewing these whiskeys, one of the people that was helping us review them, they're like, "These are really, really hot, like very high proof." And Mike and I look at each other, we're like, I love this one. Like, this is perfect for us.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was hilarious. We had our first single barrel. We had a bunch of different people because it was through Three Chords up in Clarence. Awesome company, awesome people. And the first one that we did was 120 bottles. It sold out in 3 hours.
That's awesome.
Good.
We were stoked. But that whole tasting to develop that single barrel, we had Justin Hartman from Hartman's Distilling. He's a good friend of ours. He's a stud. And he's also a lawyer, which most people don't know.
Yeah, we just had
Yeah,
him
we
on
had him
last
just
week.
then.
He's
Oh,
nice.
really?
Okay,
It's
yeah.
not released yet.
Yeah,
Cool dude.
he's really cool.
Yeah.
So we work with him all the time, and he was a part of our panel. His wife Jen dropped him off, and that was hysterical. I was like, "Oh, that's cute." And he's like, "I'm being smart." And I'm like, "You're fine. Come on inside." Tony DeYoung, obviously from Three Chord, myself and Derek, and then we had Tyler from Addie's. And then what we did, which was neat, is we brought people that were just everyday consumers. And we wanted their feedback of, would you like this if you didn't know it was from us? Like, is it too hot? And they were bourbon enthusiasts per se, but they weren't like experts. Like Justin's an expert. He's a master distiller. Tyler's been in the industry his whole life. Myself and Derek were certified bourbon stewards, not to sound pretentious, right? And then like Tony's been in the industry his entire life. So then we brought one of our other close friends in who just like enjoys whiskey every once in a while. My brother-in-law, and who was the third? He's the retired trooper.
Oh, yeah. My wife's uncle.
Yeah. And then we all sat down and then we all like unanimously selected that first single barrel. So that whole process was really fun and just inviting. And then that kind of also helped push our name out there. We're not trying to be this like really close, inclusive club. It's like we're trying to just do this for the people and see what the people want. So that was fun.
I dig that. I just can't get over that cream soda like smell and taste in this. I really like it, and
Yeah.
it doesn't have that heat. to
What do you
it.
think?
I feel like I was sleeping on Irish whiskey till I started drinking Clonakilty. Like, I think of your Tullamore Dew, your Jameson. I'm a South Buffalo guy.
Yep.
I go to Doc Sullivan's, and it's that's what your shooters are, man.
Yeah.
You're not sitting around sipping on Irish whiskey. But for Clonakilty to bring a craft style Irish whiskey here was a very good move, because I could sit here and sip this all day.
100%.
The Big Ditch was really good. The regular, I think it's just
The cigar blend, man.
the cigar
That
blend was
the
awesome. The
shit.
regular blend is really good. They really have impressed me. And I didn't even know who the hell Clonakilty was a month ago.
Right.
So now I find myself like, man, should I really sleep on things,
Yeah.
or should I really just try everything?
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because the whole purpose of, we've done 140 Wednesday whiskey reviews that we call it. So we've reviewed 140 different whiskeys on our show every Wednesday. And the whole purpose of doing these reviews is to try to highlight as much as possible whiskey outside of Kentucky. Everybody does a Kentucky whiskey show. There's so many of them down in Kentucky. Our thing is like, let's try to branch out. Let's do Scotch. Let's do Irish whiskey. We've done an Israeli single malt from Israel. That was sweet. We've done Japanese whiskey. We've done Alabama, Texas, Wyoming, Washington, like all these different types of whiskeys from around the country, because that is where we feel like, as a whiskey show, we should be highlighting some of these different whiskeys from around the country. There is so much that goes into making whiskey. 70% of the taste of whiskey comes from the barrel, right? So when you have a concentrated area like Kentucky, where the barometric pressure, the climate, the humidity is all the same, you can't really get that many differences between each bottle of whiskey. As much as you change the mash bill, most of it's come from the barrel. I mean, it can only go in and out of the barrel so much.
Yeah.
So going up in Wyoming, you have a completely different barometric pressure up there. Even New York has some amazing whiskey. So
You've been sleeping on some New York.
He sleeps on New
sleep
York
on it,
whiskey.
yeah.
We did the Great Jones. I don't know if you guys tried it
Yeah.
yet.
And the beanball too.
And he liked that. And the Beanball was all right. Yeah, I liked
But the Great
Beanball.
Jones was great. Yeah, I sleep on New York whiskeys because I like the Tennessee, Kentucky, where it originated. But and
We were
Indiana,
sleeping
even
on
Indiana,
Clyde
I was,
Mays,
I
the
was sleeping
Alabama
on it,
stuff
yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
mean,
Sleeping
it's
on
just
I mean, it is funny that like you try like different like country stuff too, because like for like our Cinco de Mayo episode, we tried to find a Mexican whiskey, which was damn near impossible.
yeah, there you got to just go tequila and just embrace it.
we did. No, did we?
No, I don't
Did
think we
we?
did.
What the
I
hell
think
did we
tequila.
drink?
Whistle Pig, we did. I think.
Oh yeah,
okay.
Whistle
Whistle
Pig
Pig.
6.
Vermont,
Yeah.
that's good stuff too. Up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It wasn't too bad.
What was the other one that we had from? We had the Breckenridge from Colorado,
Yeah.
and then we did the Texas, the
Breckenridge, the rum cast. That
and
was
then the
really good.
in
Colorado-
Texas, the Merriman Walker.
They say that's up and coming, right?
Colorado
No,
has some
Milliman
great
Green,
whiskey.
I thought.
Milliman Green, that's what it is. Yeah, from Texas.
Texas, but that's also like Indiana and Tennessee
Yeah,
too.
'cause it's
I
a
think
blend.
I think it's a blend of all
And
three.
they store it in Texas.
They
yeah.
store it in
Yeah.
Texas.
We've done a lot with Devil's River. down in Texas.
I like that one.
Yeah,
Right?
Not too
Devil's
many
River's
people know
amazing.
about that.
No,
And it's
Devil's
so
River's
cheap.
amazing.
Didn't
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
feature that as your number one out of your top 5 under $50?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have their distiller select was unbelievable. We got a bottle shipped up to us from them, and it was hand signed. It was signed to us, like Buffalo Happy Hour podcast, like bottle number. It was, so we're gonna keep that forever. I had it when I got married. He had it when he got married, and that's what we kept it for. Obviously, we reviewed it. It was hot. It was 128 proof.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But that's what's nice is because the water's different, and obviously with bourbon, it's got to meet specific requirements to be bourbon. But it's really cool to dive into where the water's coming from, what the climate is, how long they age it for. And then to Derek's point, the barometric pressure is going to have a massive impact on it because it's going to change the amount of angel share, etc. Like, it's just really fun to dive into the weeds with it.
I thought it was really funny when I did the bourbon trail this year. I was looking at the Ohio River, and I was laughing at, like, so I got to talking to some of the local law enforcement there. Just, I get curious on how things are there.
Sure.
So I talk to these guys, and they're always curious about us too. So I'm like, well, what do you got going on? Like, what's your big thing right now? They're like, yeah, we got a lot of shootings, but like a lot of guys keep stealing the bird scooters. You'd ever see the bird scooters that
Yeah.
you can like rent?
Fun to ride.
And
They're stealing them.
they steal them and then they drive them into the Ohio River. And that was like their big crime of like the week. They're like, somebody keeps stealing the bird scooters and driving them into the Ohio River.
But isn't it connected to like your credit card when you rent it? So don't they know you crashed it into the river?
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, you could just
Use like a green dot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you really a prepaid credit card would work?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
You know what I mean?
hilarious.
Like, so that was like their big crime.
You use a VPN on your credit card so they can't trace you.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
so
like,
they
Real criminals.
yeah, they were just imagine that just right, like what asshole rents it? They're like, I'm gonna put this thing in the fucking river,
Right.
and that was what. So I think about the Ohio River in Kentucky, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably a lot of the water they're using down there, shit from the Ohio, and I can just think about like the bird scooters being driven into there.
Yeah.
So what the fuck else is in there?
Right.
Some
yeah.
battery acid.
Something. So it was
Jeez.
funny to me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool stories that come out of distilleries from everywhere, which is cool too. Like, have you ever actually researched the story behind a distillery? It's fascinating. Some of this stuff, like Jefferson Ocean, even though it's a Kentucky whiskey, do you know that story? Where the dude,
where they age it out on the ships at sea.
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
his partner
that's why
does-
it's called that.
yeah,
But
a non-profit organization where he tags sharks for like
Oh, I didn't know. about
procreate
that.
or like to breed sharks and everything like that, or to control the shark population or something like that. So they used his boat, put the whole cask on the front of the boat, and it just got splashed with salt water all the time. Like, that's cool stories to find out that's why you're tasting sea salt in that whiskey.
But that's also the same kind of with the Clonakilty too, because they have all that sea air there too.
Oh yeah,
Yes, they do.
All that salty sea air.
Yeah, the
You know,
barley's grown right on the coast.
That's on the southwestern border of or the southwestern coast.
yeah, southwestern coast.
All
Yeah,
right.
Cork.
So we got Mike cracking into some Elmer T. I have some specs on that if you guys want me to go over it, or if we
Dude,
want
yes.
Gio to get into the cigar.
Yeah, let him get into that cigar, and then we'll get into the specs of
But
the Silver Tea Lee.
you guys are the big whiskey review guys, so I want you to I want your whiskey review on the Elmer T. because we
Have you guys ever had Elmer Tea Lee?
I don't know if I've had.
I haven't. Not
No,
this
I don't
one.
think so.
We always do the cigar reviews, and I know you guys are
It's
big.
a Buffalo Trace product.
I know you
Okay.
guys are
Really-
big on your whiskey reviews, so definitely give me your A+ game on
Love that.
review for this.
One of those real nice allocated bottles. Yeah, you gotta say it. Ooh.
One of these nice ones that I won for $19. So
Bougie shit.
Let him drop the A word, all right?
that's right. Yeah, allocated
That
bottle.
was said in sarcasm. Jesus.
All
Gio,
right,
take
so
the cigar
Gio, take it away,
All
man.
right. So today we are smoking the Bewitched by MUESTRA de SAKA. And this is one of Steve Saka's like exclusive lines. He makes, a handful of them here. It's comes in a really bougie ass box, as you can see here. Comes in a box of 7. These are not the everyday smokes, so to speak, here, a limited run, but they regularly produce them. They just aren't always available type thing. So all 7 of the cigars come in a single coffin. They're wrapped up here. They have a specific yellow band like all the other SAKA releases. This particular one has the owl design at the bottom. What I had to look up as to why they did this one, because there's a story behind all of his cigar names. He actually made this blend specifically for his favorite cigar shop and like a friend he had working there, and it was going to only be exclusively there. Like, he wasn't even advertising it type of thing. And the owner's like, this cigar is too good not for everybody to smoke. So he convinced Steve Saka to make it for everybody. And it's like, I forgot the name of the actual shop itself. It's in my notes here. But we're talking Nicaraguan tobacco here. It's a Ecuadorian Habano wrapper and a Mexican San Andreas binder. The filler is also Nicaraguan, and this is out of the Hoya de Nicaragua factory. Dunbarton tobacco product, obviously, because Saka, that's just where he makes them. For those of you who don't know who Steve Saka is, he's kind of a really, like, bougie kind of guy. Like, everyone was asking this guy to make a specific type of cigar, and, like, he finally made it. He's like, now leave me the hell alone about it. He's very...
Always Lancero.
Yeah, and he can rub people the wrong way, I would imagine, with that attitude. Like, when you're really good at something, you can be thought of as pompous.
Sure.
I like his products, though. I mean, he makes a great smoke. The Saka Squatch,
Thanks.
right in the shot here. So, he actually... We'll give that around, and it's Sasquatch smoking a cigar. So, fun little...
The Saka Squatch.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well,
Yeah.
they call him the Sasquatch.
So-
He really is like a Sasquatch, too. He's like 6'5". He's got to be pushing... I'd say he's pushing 3 bills at least.
Steve,
Burly
Yeah, he's a
beard.
big
big
dude.
guy.
Bald, though. No hair. I don't know why the
That's so cool.
Sasquatch
Yeah.
has hair, but...
So, funny story about that is I actually got that randomly when I walked into Nickel City, and the rep happened to be there. He's like, you want one of these? I was like, yeah.
Perfect timing.
I got a hat, too.
Meanwhile, I'm over here trying to enter contests to get this shit.
Aren't
This
those
the
little
guy just
Sasquatch like $300?
No, there's the bigger
There's the
one.
big
That's
one.
like
Okay.
the size of like this lamp.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, that's probably like $40-$50, I'd imagine, but it's pretty cool. I like the presentation. He's very, I guess some would say over the top, like Fuente-esque. The individual coffins, like it's a lot of production value to it.
I'm going to call him out. I actually saw this dude at PCA, right?
Uh-huh.
This dude sat in a recliner. Everyone's walking up to this guy trying to meet him, and this dude wouldn't look at anybody. He just sat there and smoked cigars all day.
It's that
Felt
old-
like he kind of blew everybody off.
it's like
I didn't like it.
Bad review coming in from Jerry.
I didn't like it. It upset me a little bit.
That's going in the review right there. On a personal note.
Nah, because we've smoked some of his other stuff before, and
I'm a big fan of his cigars. I wish the guy, he just doesn't seem that personable to me. And I don't know why you could be surrounded by consumers and people that pay a lot of money to have your products in your shop, and you can't give them the time of day.
Right.
And I feel like that bothers me a little bit, because at the end of the day, your company would be nothing without us, the consumer.
well, and then the
Very true.
retail of these two is like they're not they're not the most expensive cigar, but they're not the cheapest. Like reg retail is $19, and like obviously in New York State it's not $19, so it can really fluctuate, and you're gonna see, someone in Pennsylvania can enjoy this for what would most people would consider reasonable for a $20 treat. Like a state that's high tobacco tax like Illinois, that gets to like $40-$50.
What is Illinois' tobacco tax?
It's like 80% or something.
We're
crazy.
because we're at like 75 for those that don't know.
75. Yep.
Yeah, we're at 75 in New York State.
And it's
disgusting.
brutal. So that means any cigar you bring in for $10 for the average person, I'm sure you guys can do math, but that means that cigar costs $17.50
Yeah,
right off the bat.
it's
$10
so
cigar.
ridiculous.
So you're bringing in, a $100 box of cigars that is $175.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's why people in New York, and that's why, again, we talk about those struggles that Tommy brings up. The brick and mortars here to support these guys is so important, because these guys really do struggle. It's not easy to have, a nice cigar shop and a lounge like Tommy has and be able to be successful. So what he's done there is actually very impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Well, the fact that it's focused on allocated cigars too is sweet. Like you don't get that at other places, I don't think. Like I mean, you guys would know better than I do.
Well, he runs like a boutique style cigar shop. Every cigar that's in his shop, for the most part, isn't like your everyday, manufactured cigar. He doesn't carry like Arturo Fuente or Padron or any of those cigars that like are mass
Macanudo,
produced.
Cohibas, stuff like that.
Yeah, like stuff that everybody knows. All the stuff is very like small batch, exclusive stuff. So it's actually impressive to be able to run a lounge where you're not only doing that with your cigars, you're also doing that at your whiskey bar and club.
Right.
So it's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And like to add to that, like just think of like not every craft beer shop is crazy busy. Like, you know, there's some people who want Miller Lite every day of their life. So just imagine trying to convince someone who for 20 years smoked their same Arturo Fuente or Padron, or like you said, the hundreds of legacy brands that there are, and it's a hard sell sometimes.
Alec Bradley. I mean,
Ashton,
Knocking
Rocky Patel. There you go.
Yeah, Drew Estate. I mean,
Like-
there's so many. You could go on and on and on. It's the same thing with beer. It's a
Like-
good analogy, the beer analogy.
and like the small guy, especially with these like state regulated businesses, can get fucked over pretty hard.
Sure.
And I
Like-
feel like that's the same way in whiskey, too. You see the same guys coming around drinking their Evan Williams and your Staple Mark Jim Beams. You know, these guys don't want to, you know, dip into any of these new kind of craft distilleries and things that are new. They stick to their drink, and then that's all that they want to have.
It's what they know.
You
And
know,
I'm-
like things that come out of like MGP, they don't want to try any of that stuff. You know, that's all stuff that it's craft to that. It's like if I said, let's go have IPAs today. Some guys gonna be like, nah, bro, just give me that Bud Light.
Right.
Yeah. And like even then, there's a place for that though, because like I get made fun of. Like I'm one of those people that likes Woodford Double Oak. I just enjoy the taste. I know what I'm getting. Like if I'm at a restaurant that doesn't have a crazy selection, I'm probably going with that.
Sure.
Yeah,
But-
that's your favorite, right?
I mean, I've grown a lot, but I've really started to like the Breckenridge. I have a few bottles of my own that I've bought, and like I've been trying to hunt down their cognac cask one because I think that just sounds really interesting to me. But I would
Probably
say
got
like
it
as
at
far
Addie's.
yeah, right. As far as like an everyday thing, like if I'm at like a chain place or something, and like I would probably go for that. I know it's not going to be crazy, break the bank, and I know it's going to be something I like.
Yep.
Like, and that's what it boils down to. Like, yes, you can have what you like all the time, but don't be afraid to broaden your horizons. Like, I think the first time we had rum with a cigar, like that was like a big shock to us.
That was with Miguel.
Yeah,
That was like that crazy episode. Somehow I ended up getting that guy here, and I was like,
We're getting you rum, Miguel.
I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, we're like 3 episodes into starting a podcast, and we have
Fuck.
this major guest.
and he gave
Like,
us like a whole
major.
box of cigars.
He gave us like an entire box of cigars.
we
hooked us
smoked
up,
like 2 cigars each.
and he's like, you guys got to be drinking rum with your cigars. He's a DR guy. Like, you got to be drinking rum with cigars. The
So-
sweetness offsets that cigar sickness.
Did you have this whole setup, like all these mics before you?
We
like, what
had
was
the
that
mics, but we were running it. I don't know if you ever had this issue, but we were running our show off of iPhones.
That's how we started, bro.
And
All right.
so you can't text.
Yep.
You
Right.
if something happens to your fucking phone, it's facing you, so you don't know. And
You can't
sometimes it would
gamble on
kick
sports.
out.
You can't gamble on sports during the show.
You have to turn it on airplane mode. I learned that the hard way.
Yeah,
So kind of
Gio got this phone call in the middle of one episode. The fucking thing was ringing in the middle of the show. I'm like,
it's tough.
we got to find something. There's got to be a better way.
No,
Yeah.
these cameras was definitely the best choice.
yeah.
Shout
so
out to Boots for the
Yeah,
suggestion.
boots.
when we started, we like wanted to feature whiskey on our show and tell the backstory of it. That's how we started, and we did Buffalo Distilling to start off with, and we did Black Button and Tommy Rotter, and we're like, okay, we're basically done in the Buffalo area, so let's reach out to Rochester. And then we reached out to Tommy Burnett from Iron Smoke, and we're like, can you tell us like the story, because we don't know anything about you? And he goes, yeah, I'll be on the show. And then it was at that point we're like, okay. So we had to figure out how we were going to move our studio to Rochester.
It's almost like panic in a way.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, man, I
The
don't know
traveling
what to
circus, right,
Right.
Jer?
do. Now, I can't believe people come here.
Exactly.
I know.
It's crazy, isn't
It's
it?
weird.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, yeah, definitely. Like,
It's so much extra pressure.
when people come in here, I used to be like a little nervous about the interview. And now I'm just kind of like,
We look forward to guest
I like
interviews now.
people coming in because like
Yeah.
we do our show sometimes just the 3 of us, and when we do those shows, it's a lot of fun. We get to talk about a lot of things that we like to talk about, like things that are going on. We have a segment like we talk about like our favorite police moments and our police stories. Like I got one tonight that if we do want to do it,
I think I know what it is.
what are the geriatric car crew?
All right. I mean, I got if this episode goes out around Thanksgiving, I got one that'll definitely fit the Thanksgiving feast mood.
But,
Oh, God.
you know, when guys are in here now, I like doing an interview episode because I feel like it's more informative. You guys are able to get your stories out. It helps promote your podcast. And, I mean, let's face it, Buffalo's, they say the city of good neighbors, but I don't know how it is with you guys. Do you guys have, like, a big local audience? Is most of your audience local, or do a lot of guys outside of the Buffalo area enjoy you guys?
There's definitely a lot of people outside. I think at one point we were in, like, we looked at all the analytics and we were in like 47 states and like 30 something countries or something like that.
Yeah.
Isn't it
And
weird when you see the countries?
It's so weird. It's like, why is Iran listening to Buffalo Happy Hour?
Well, we got homies in India that listen to us.
So that's what threw us off. Like India, Great Britain, China, and then Spain. We had a huge spike in Spain.
Spain is still one of our biggest things on YouTube. For some reason, we have to learn how to translate our podcast, honestly, because Spain is a huge listener of our podcast. Which
There's
is so weird.
programming.
Yeah.
It's just like caption programming. I don't know if you guys use captions for clips, but that shit sucks, man.
Yeah.
It's expensive. And I don't know if you ever tried to caption your own shit. What a pain in the ass. You have to listen to every word, stop it every 3 seconds. The next sentence, stop it.
Yeah.
You could pay a program to do that. It'll do the entire show for you in like 10 minutes.
It's wild.
Wow.
Damn.
But yeah, kind of going to your point with the reception locally, it's good when a business shares it. But other than that, like, I start getting my like tinfoil hat on because we do a lot of marketing now, and we have yet to be like contacted by anybody in like any type of news organization or Step Up Buffalo or any of these like marketing companies to promote each other. Like I even reached out to them to be like, be on our show, like let's promote Buffalo, and they just don't respond because I think that I was listening to your interview with Hopper where it's like this whole scene of we're in competition, like we're not. All this thing is we're trying to grow the city of Buffalo. When we first started, we kept hearing, keep Buffalo secret, keep Buffalo secret. And like, that's all fine and good, but like, why? Why are we keeping, like, this is a great city. Let's all come together and help bring Buffalo up. And I just don't understand people that are just like, you stay on your side, I'll stay on mine, and then we'll just fight. Like, that's stupid.
I feel this way when I talk to people about our show. I don't think, and maybe this is just, I bring this point up a lot, and I don't know if you feel this way or you feel this way, but I feel like people around here don't want to see anybody get too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
they
if this
don't.
were to blow up.
Yeah, they
right?
don't.
Like if tomorrow we had 1 million followers, Down to Herf was the thing. You just got featured on it, right? Now you got 500,000 followers, right? 750,000 followers. These same idiots that are saying, oh, that's so stupid. You guys are so dumb that you run a podcast. You must not have anything to do in your life. These same idiots are the same ones that'll be like, man, I supported you since the beginning. You just
Correct.
didn't know. I was in the back. I'm telling you, I was always there for you.
You know what's funny though? We know.
It's so true.
Yeah, we know who's who.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Based on analytics, just so you know, we can see pretty much who listens and who doesn't.
It's interesting. So we should probably touch on the whiskey quick.
Yeah.
Do a quick review of it. I'm getting thirsty.
Oh, yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
All right.
All
So
right.
if you haven't,
What is the blend? Let's
Yeah.
let's shout it out here.
All right, so we are now on to drink number 2, Elmer T. Lee, single barrel, sour mash, and this is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. It's 90 proof. It's made by Sazerac out of Buffalo Trace. Its aged is not disclosed. The mash bill is not disclosed either, but upon further reading, a lot of people in the industry think it's mash bill number 2, which is very high in rye out of Buffalo Trace. I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know if anyone knows any insiders on that, but so everything's very secret with this bottle. MSRP is around $40. Good luck finding that in stores for $40. I've seen it around 55 and up. Lucky for me, I won this in an auction at $19. So
Can't beat that.
score of the week, right there.
I like that.
But yeah, Elmer T. Lee was one of the great master distillers of Buffalo Trace for 36 years before he retired in 85. He passed away in 2013. And so as a pioneer of mass-producing single-barrel bourbons, Buffalo Trace honored him with his own bottle. And they wanted to keep things true to the single-barrel nature. So that's why they kept a lot of things undisclosed, very limited, very allocated. So this is what we got here. So I'm kind of glad that it's a rye mash bill. So they say. I'm a rye guy. On the nose, you're going to get some fresh baked bread and some cream soda. I definitely get the cream soda, and I cleanse my glass out with water before, because you guys had some cream soda.
Do you get cream soda on everything?
No, just these last two. For
First
sure.
off, how much cream soda have you had? In
I was gonna say, dude,
Dude, I like
I
cream
don't
soda.
drink cream soda, but
I'm not really a pop kind of guy, you know? I don't really drink too much pop.
I had a lot of root beer floats before this episode. Like, the fuck out of here.
I don't really drink pop, you know? So, but you're also going to get some oak and some coconut and cinnamon as well.
Hold on, because you're ruining it. Because then now we're gonna start having those experiences. We just got to do it.
All right, you guys tell me what you smell and taste.
well, clearly coconut now.
Yeah, way to go.
You know what? Don't
You
play.
ruined it.
I'm in your heads now.
Now heavy cream soda. If we're being real about it,
I think
heavy cream
this is
soda
the
right
most
now.
heaviest cream soda I've ever had in any whiskey ever.
This is like the best root beer float I ever had.
You know what? This is how episodes go. I get made fun of. Now we're back.
It's okay. Wait.
It feels normal now.
It used to be, it was Gio when we had Hop Round. Now it's me.
No, the funniest is
Back
like,
to you.
Cirque is like, keep making fun of Caleb. I love it.
Yeah, we got a guy at work who listens to our show, and he always says, "Keep making fun of Caleb. It's funny."
That's awesome.
That's the part he looks forward to.
And he's this like salty old dog who's got like 23 years on the job.
He just refuses to retire.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, your MRD's coming up. He's like, I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, he'll figure it out.
Sounds just like the type of guy who would make fun of me. Like, even if he saw me on the street. Like, look at this dork.
Exactly how he would phrase it.
The other thing I just have to say is it's a very light, easy sip. I feel like it goes perfect with this cigar in particular. With some little bit of light brown sugar in there as well.
More brown sugar.
Love it.
Damn! All of a sudden,
I know. There it is.
All right, you know what? I'm done with talking about whiskey and shit.
In
So
my,
you guys take it away.
first time for Mike here. So what are you thinking here?
I'm getting a lot of butterscotch
Yeah.
on the taste.
Okay.
That's one thing that I'm getting that wasn't named. Is some butterscotch. It is soft. To your point,
What do you think of it though?
I like this.
Yeah.
Is it really an allocation?
Oh yeah, these,
It only comes out right around this
right
time
around
of
this
year.
time of year.
All right.
November, like last.
Pre-Christmas.
Yeah, right before Christmas.
For
and,
those-
then, and then you will not see it again
Like
until next year.
So more of a seasonal release type of deal.
Sorta. I mean, the last
All
time I
the
saw a
allocated
bottle,
bottles come out around this time of year, anyways.
the last time I saw this bottle was last year.
For those that are audio only, and for those that don't literally know anything about Derek and I, we try everything neat first, regardless of what it is. Even if it's a coffee liqueur, we don't care. We try everything neat before we, quote unquote, ruin it with water.
You're not
And-
ruining it, but
Yeah, and at most we'll do like 1 or 2 eye droplets of water into any whiskey, but we never really use slow melts, and that's just kind of that's our thing. I do get butterscotch, and then other than that, there's like vanilla and honey, which is a staple of Kentucky anyways, and then it's just very soft. So
yeah, I'm getting like a lot of like toasted oak, vanilla bean, and honey on this for the nose.
it's good.
Oh yeah, this is a highly sought after bottle. It's some stores might only get 2 to 3. Like I said, usually about 55 and up, so very hard to get.
Thanks for sharing it with us, though, Caleb.
You know what? We can also shout out our sponsor of the show if you want to play that for Nickel City and Tommy. I mean,
Go ahead.
oh, I thought you were hitting the button.
No.
All right,
I'm gonna,
so,
I'm gonna let-
off-
I'm gonna
off
let-
the cuff.
Off the cuff, Caleb.
All right, so this,
This is
shout
where you're
out
the best.
shout out to Tommy from Nickel City Cigars for sponsoring the show. Make sure you guys go down and see Tommy. See, I don't even remember the address now, so that's why you got to hit that button. This week's
Stop
bottle
talking.
is brought to you by, as always, our good friend and sponsor of the show, Tommy from Nickel City Cigar Club. Located at 284 Franklin Street, Buffalo, New York. This is Western New York's only private allocated whiskey and cigar club. Shop online or in store at this veteran-owned business. With that being said, stop by Nickel City Cigars, and who knows, you may even see us there. Cheers.
You are terrible off the rip, just so you know.
Well, I can't remember all that, dude.
He started like stuttering.
what do you mean?
I can't remember the address, the
Oh,
phone
bro.
number.
Bro, you were
the,
talking
the
like
day
Porky
he
Pig.
opened. But all right, Donnie Thornberry's out there. Just guys, make sure you also use that discount code DTH20 online at nickelcitycigars.com for 20% off your next order. Some restrictions do apply, and don't pay full price. Get the discount. We live in New York, cigar hell.
Did you say don't vape?
No.
Well, yes, don't vape. That's,
I might
Yes,
have said
that's,
that.
juvenile.
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Don't vape.
don't vape.
Don't vape.
Smoke cigars like a real man. You heard it here first.
Or woman.
yes, Sisters of
That
the
was
Leaf.
pretty sexist of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sisters of the Leaf.
Honestly,
Shout
this
out.
does go very well with this whiskey.
It does.
That was a very good call.
It actually says that right here online too, on like Elmer T.
This
Lee's page.
specific cigar?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
really?
not this specific
Oh.
cigar.
I thought there was
Got me excited.
somehow an article that said this specific cigar.
That would actually be pretty funny, but
That would work out perfectly for today. Anyways,
I'm curious what you guys like. I know you guys said you like it and stuff, but obviously you guys go a little more in depth with whiskey.
Yeah.
What are your opinions of this? Like, I know you said your notes on the nose. You said you're getting some honey,
Yeah.
some vanilla. You said,
Yeah, and there's like, I don't know if this is the cigar too, because obviously you're gonna get influences from the cigar, but I'm picking up kind of like a toasted walnut or some sort of tree nut that has been burned in this taste. And again, that could be coming from the cigar. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't smoked the cigar before, but that's kind of what I'm tasting. I think it's great. It's a Kentucky whiskey, obviously, so you're getting all those typical charred oak, honey, vanilla, butterscotch, a little bit of toffee. You're getting the typical notes, but in general, this is a good product. I do like this.
You know what they kind of removed with this is that standard Kentucky leather
Yeah.
that you would get. There's a lot of leather in Kentucky across the board. Doesn't matter where, like, what family it came from, and they removed that and influenced, in my opinion, more honey than anything. And that honey palate, it coats your palate, and it negates any burn for it being a 90 proof, and it makes it that much smoother going down. Which it just kind of enhances the pleasantry of drinking it, because the initial taste going to the ending note, there's almost no burn. So what we like to say is the hug. There's a high hug, which is like just inside your mouth. A medium
Kentucky
hug.
hug.
Yep, a medium hug right in your throat, and then a low hug is just like where your collarbone is before it enters your chest. It kind of warms your stomach, but it doesn't give you indigestion, which is a good sign that it's like a higher quality whiskey. And then it makes you salivate a little bit, but not to the extent where you can't have a conversation, because most times, specifically around higher proofs, it forces you to not talk because you like physically can't. So being able to make a well-rounded product that has a lot of, there's legs to it. It's oily, but it's not viscous. It makes it that much more of a sipper. To your point that you brought in earlier when you were talking about it, it's a really well-rounded product, in my opinion. Going BHH,
Yeah.
I would give this like an A+ check as an overall. You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. So it's just good to have within your collection. Would I open it just because it's a Tuesday? Absolutely not. Specifically because of where we are too, though. I mean, it's an allocation. New York kind of gets boned when it comes to allocations.
You ain't kidding.
Yeah, so you're fighting that battle. I like that it's a seasonal release. If you have this and you can pick it up, Christmas 2022, open it Christmas 2023. Make it that like feature for the whatever event. If you're hosting Christmas and you're like showcasing a bottle, this would be, the premier reason for having a tasting. Yeah. I would leave it for the last. You know what I mean? Obviously work up to it, build kind of a flight, and then finish with this, just because it's not going to overpower anybody.
Does it have Elmer T. Lee on the bottle too? Like in the
Inside.
It does,
That's
yeah.
sick.
When
That's
you
a
start
label
getting
branding
lower-
plus, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
When
agree,
the more
I agree.
it's just like Buffalo Trace products for
the Thomas Handy.
like the Thomas Handy does that.
Yeah.
George T. Stagg does that. They're always featured on the inside. Have you guys gone on the Buffalo Bourbon Trail?
No, not yet.
Dude,
We're planning on going
I
down.
went with my wife, man. You guys are like probably
Yeah.
the biggest bourbon podcast around here in Buffalo for sure.
We went to Ireland instead.
Yeah.
Not the Flex, but we went to Clonakilty.
Next year.
Big flex.
Yeah, next year we're probably going to plan to go to Kentucky.
It's a 7-hour drive,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's
And
not
if you guys are boys and you guys can handle each other for 7
yeah.
hours in a car,
easily.
We had to
It is-
drive
it's
to
worth
JFK to go to Ireland.
We drove to JFK and
the
then we
worst experience of my life.
were on a 7-hour flight to Ireland.
I hate him so much.
You're my best
you could
friend.
have just flew right out.
We recorded the whole thing
Yeah,
too.
no, it was great.
That's cool.
Good time.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be awesome.
the whole vlog's on YouTube.
Getting these guys to do shit like that would be like,
Bro, I got 2 kids.
See?
2.5 kids.
I didn't even have to finish the
2.5.
sentence.
2.5.
They already
One
made
expecting?
excuses.
I have a stepdaughter, so she's there
Oh.
half the time.
Oh,
So-
okay.
I was going to say.
They
How old are your kids? Dude, you look like you're 27. What are
Thank
you,
you. I
45?
appreciate that. I appreciate the 27. 'cause-
Gio's like 45.
Yeah, you look 27 because you're not a cop yet.
Yeah, well, wait till I grow out that mustache, you know? But
what are
I'm,
you, 34?
no, 31.
31.
I have an 11-year-old stepdaughter, and then my daughters are 2 and 3.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like we aged too bad.
You know what?
I'm only
Yeah,
32. Gio looks
31?
like he's fucking 21.
They stress me out, though. I got a couple
No,
gray
he doesn't.
They stress me
I
out.
shave
got
my
a
face.
I got a couple gray hairs coming in on the beard, so.
If you hang out with Jerry full time, then yeah, I expect a couple grays showing.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry, too.
I'm
yeah.
brutal, man.
Bro,
I can be brutal.
Well, before we were all...
I would actually like fuck with him every now and then and be like, all right, is this the daily Jerry freakout?
What do you freak out about?
Lots of things.
It could be nonsense.
a sneeze, a
I'm high
cold.
strung.
Are you?
I get not always.
Like-
I'm very easy.
We didn't even get to leave the station. I didn't even get to get my fucking coffee. This is bullshit.
So you play hockey. What position do you play?
I was a center.
Really?
Yeah. Big center.
Sounds about right.
No, it doesn't though. Centers are
Really?
normally smaller. Like centers are normally his size. I figured you were like
Well,
wing.
because he has to have the stamina. How tall are you?
No, 6'3".
Yo, did
that
you
the
hear
thunder?
Under?
It's coming,
That's
boys.
an airplane.
No,
Listen.
it's coming. I wore boots for a reason.
That's an airplane.
There's no
Yeah,
way. What time
the
is it?
last
It's not
time an
supposed to start-
airplane
Hold
was-
on.
listen,
I'll take a
hold
peek.
up, hold
I'll
up.
take a peek out the window.
It's 7:20. There's no way
The
that
last
it's coming already.
Listen,
Pause.
That was
pause.
definitely the airplane. We can hear the airplanes.
The last time an airplane was that loud, it was in Clarence.
Jesus. Oh, rip.
No, it's snowing.
It's snowing?
shit.
How bad? Let's see it.
Couple little flurries.
Oh.
Oh.
You got a Dustin, bro. I told you this was going to happen at 7 o'clock. It was going to show up. By 8 o'clock, it's going to hit
Well, you
hard.
were wrong. You were 30 minutes off.
Listen,
what a
listen.
jerk.
I said at 7 it was going to start. By 8 we were going to get destroyed. And you're like, dude, it's good. We got bourbon.
It's true.
I'm
we do
like,
it.
that's fine, but I got to work tomorrow somehow.
Oh, you'll be fine.
I mean,
You
this
got court in the morning.
Come on.
I work
do
from
got
home.
court in the morning.
Yeah.
I know.
Here.
Work from
Court
home.
in the morning.
I guarantee
Yeah,
you I
yeah.
drive my truck to court. I guarantee you.
100% you will.
Yeah, that's payday.
Definitely going. That's
Okay,
cash
all right.
money,
so,
baby.
So you're.
It's cash
We
money,
understand.
baby.
We understand. So you're a truck guy.
yeah.
What? Relax. What?
Yeah. I always drive a truck.
What brand? What manufacturer?
GMC. You walked right by it.
I wasn't looking.
Hell yeah, that's sick.
I was actually
That's
checking out
white
your
too,
gutter
right?
downspout. That's what I was looking at.
What is it?
Your gutter downspout is what I was looking
Oh,
at.
yeah. That
You
needs
got
a
you got
little
like a 4-inch piece of PVC coming off your gutter.
That's scary, bro.
Yeah, you're trying to get that away from the house.
Yeah.
So you got a GMC. What do you drive?
I just have a Jeep.
What Jeep?
Oh, Compass. There's nothing to brag about.
Do you wave?
No, not at all.
All right. What do you got?
I got a 4Runner.
You got a 4Runner. You got a okay. So you're like a doomsday prepper.
Nah, I just like Toyota.
Derek's
I
a
worked
fella-
at Toyota for. When I
Didn't
was
you
a kid.
say that you had a 2-wheel drive car?
I got a company vehicle.
The company vehicle.
Yeah, I got a
Okay,
company
okay.
So
vehicle.
everybody
Yeah.
on your street
Yeah,
thinks
yeah.
that you have basement issues. That's really what's
Correct.
happening.
Yeah, and then you got a GMC as well.
Sure do.
GMC is a solid move.
Hell yeah.
That's like the bougie Chevy, dude.
Yeah, it's
I got a
the
terrain. Don't-
AT4.
Let's not go crazy. It's just terrain.
I got an AT4. So, like, I don't like chrome. That's why I didn't get a Denali.
There you go.
Understood.
I don't like the chrome.
What's
Like,
your-
they chrome it all out and they make it look stupid. The AT4, it's got like a little lift on the front, so it's leveled.
It's leveled. Yep.
And then it's all black. So anything that's chrome on the Denali is black.
That's sick.
What's your transmission thing? You got the buttons like he does, where you just got to like flick the bean to basically put it in park.
I wouldn't buy a car that has that.
Okay, understood.
Well,
I
weird flex,
couldn't.
so-
No, I couldn't do that. My wife has that, and I'll be sitting there. I'm trying to like grab the fucking windshield wiper fucking thing,
Yeah.
trying to fucking put it in the park and shit.
Oh yeah, I'm like pressing a button to park. I'm like, this is gonna roll.
First time I got in your SUV to drive it, I was so lost.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on, let me just flick this. It was super strange.
Everything's a button.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I'm old
it's a
school. I
reverse,
like
you
that
flick it,
lever.
right?
Then
Yeah.
you put
Flick
your
the thing.
Then you put your hand on the lever when you're old school and you just drive with your hand on the lever. I like that.
Listen, I grew up all stick shift.
That's true.
It was terrible switching to automatic. I hated it.
Do you guys ride motorcycles or anything?
We
Do
used
any
to.
of you
We
guys
used
ride?
to. We used to.
So I mean, it's pretty similar to like a dirt bike. You know, you just got to know your gears.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you ride or no?
I did. I got rid of my bike.
What'd you have?
I had an R6.
Okay.
Nice.
You had
Yeah.
a name 'em?
ZX6R,
Yeah.
and he had a
I had a,
Honda
I had a CBR.
Cigar. Yeah,
I'll be honest. If I could go back in hindsight, I would have got a Gixxer.
yeah.
Speak my language, dude.
Dude, I would have got a Gixxer just because I feel like being a tall guy, they're
What
a
year?
more comfortable bike.
Yeah.
What year?
The newest and best one they had.
Yeah.
That's
Really?
just who I am. Yeah.
Understood.
At
So,
the time.
I
At the
was,
time.
I was obsessed with the K8s. when the Gixxer dropped out in their '08 model, I was obsessed with it. But to be honest with you, a CBR, I'm 6'1". A CBR is unbelievably comfortable.
You're
just
not
because
6'1", but okay.
I'm 6'1" and a quarter.
You're 6'2",
I
for
got,
sure.
Dude, listen, not
Wow, he gave you an extra inch. He wasn't even insulting
because
you.
I'm 6'2". You're 100% 6'2".
my license says 6'2" because I asked the woman at the DMV to hook up the boy, but I'm 6'1" and a quarter. I'm 6'1" and a quarter. I'll be honest.
Hook me up.
Yeah, I was like, come on, boost those numbers.
Add an inches.
I'm like, those are rookie numbers. I need some help here.
6'8". That's what the license says.
Sir, you are 5'8". No, I'm 6'8". Can you read my license?
So
Don't worry, it's not like Caleb. He's like the kid from the fucking what is it?
Caleb's 6'3".
No. What's the movie? Was it The Little Rascals where they're in the trench coat stacked up on each other? That's Caleb.
We're here to apply for a loan, sir.
Yeah, Caleb was a kid growing. I mean, he's not even here. I feel bad, but Caleb was a kid sitting at the dinner table growing up, refusing green beans.
Before you light that, can you hand me the BHH again?
Come on, man.
Appreciate you.
Making me work.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get blitzed.
I'm going to make you
know?
work, too. Hand me that Elmer T. Lee, please and thank you.
I need a refill. Can I have a refill?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. So K8s, Gixxers are super comfortable. CBRs are comfortable. Ducatis are also comfortable. And
So
I love exhaust notes.
Pardon, my wife will be listening, but I was dating a girl who had a Ducati. She had one of those little monsters.
Talk about it.
Ah, bro. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, Ducatis are sick.
She was a cute girl, and she liked the ride, so.
The riding culture is different.
You're not to cut you off, Derek. I'm just not going to make a joke about how she liked to ride. We'll talk about that offline.
Oh shit.
All right, wife listens.
That's what I'm saying. Out of respect, because I'm sure she's a wonderful lady.
All right, I just gotta
wonderful
say
woman.
that Arborvitae is now a mix of brown and some yellow.
Oh, he's getting life back?
Oh no,
He
no,
might be coming back,
no,
is what
just
you're
the
telling
snow, just the snow.
Oh, okay.
So the snow is now yellow. You know, it's the heads up for you guys out there if you're gonna visit the tree.
Sounds good.
Do you also have the bladder of a grandfather?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Not
Mine's
yet.
usually-
Not yet.
I have a serious question for the cops in the room. How does this work? 12-hour shift, you got to pee. What happens?
10-hour and you find a field.
10
Or go to the
hour?
station house.
What is this, Bush League? Why aren't you doing 12s?
We do four 10s, and then we're off 4.
What?
So
Sick,
you're not doing
right?
12s, huh?
So
No,
you're just doing 40?
So I used to work what you'd call the trooper schedule, right? Because you obviously know a trooper, and he works a 12-hour shift.
I know.
He works what's called a 2-2-3. He's off. He works 2 days. He's off 2 days. He works that weekend. He's off Monday, Tuesday. Works Wednesday, Thursday, and then he's off Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Until Kathy calls, or used to be Andy used to call you and say, pack a 3-day bag. Now you're forced to just work until I tell you to get off shift. And
I'll be honest with you.
They're
If you're
so
a young guy,
short-staffed.
if you're a young guy and you're okay with that, and you don't have a family, fuck it, man. Make the money, dude.
Yeah, right.
These dudes make so much money. Troopers are making $76,000 out of the
Started.
academy.
You got to remember,
That's
though,
wild.
because it's New York State, they got to be strategic. If you hit that limit, and you know this with OT too, when you work X amount of hours a week, you have to be smart about it, because if you work so much OT, you're losing money to be there at work.
I don't think you lose money ever.
That's what I said. But
You'll
those
make a
guys
little,
disagreed.
but what you are losing is time.
Right.
You're essentially working for nothing.
Exactly. And it's not
So
advantageous
you're not
to stay
losing
there.
money, you're losing time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not worth it.
Because there's always a little bit. You'll always make a little bit, but they will take so much of it.
Was that always an aspiration to be a police officer?
When I was like 12 years old, I always wanted to be a cop.
Same.
Like growing up, I always wanted to be a cop. I always wanted to be in law enforcement. There's something intriguing about it. You see a cop. I don't know if it's that I was afraid of him growing up, because I know it's not like that now. People are just like, fuck you. You guys are fucking jerk offs, or they say a lot worse shit than that. Like I'll say pretty much anything, but there's certain things I won't say.
Yeah.
But the shit that they say to us, I mean, the disrespect to us now is out of control. And I feel like this started even before 2020.
Sure.
oh, for
You know,
sure.
it keeps getting softer and softer and softer and softer.
When did you get on?
I got on in 2019. So I
Okay.
just started, me and Gio just started our 4 into 5.
Okay.
So
So Derek and I both went through
I know you mentioned law,
Everything.
criminal justice.
Yeah,
right?
so we went through everything. So I got a packet for the troopers. I chose to deploy over going to the Trooper Academy.
Sure.
I also already own a house, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to go to the Trooper Academy. I just bought a house 2017. I deployed 2017. Or I'm sorry, 2017 to 2018 I deployed. it made no sense for me to go to the Trooper Academy, do the thing, whatever. My wife is from Syracuse, moved to Buffalo. I met her when she was in Buffalo. She refused to move again. That was the other aspect of it. My entire life, I have family in COs, or that it's corrections. I got literally our group was football, military, and law enforcement. That was it.
How old are you now?
I'm 30.
30?
About to be 31.
Bro, you got 5 years, man.
I understand.
You'll be the old man in the class, though.
It's gonna be me.
I was the old man in the class
that's
at
sure.
28.
I was gonna say that's gonna be me.
Yep.
Hopefully,
You're gonna be like the old man, bro.
And it was...
I'd say they'd look up to you, but we all know that's not
they're gonna
true.
look down at me.
They're looking down.
Short kings.
It was wild because I came back from deployment and I was still going to do something in law enforcement even after the fact, and I was going back and forth with the local recruiter, which I'm sure you know for the troopers, going back and forth with them, and then it was kind of the same boat for Derek, and then we both landed careers that it didn't make any sense at that point, and we're
What
just
do you
like,
do now?
I'm in residential construction, but I'm in management, and then
Okay.
he's in.
That's why I joked about everybody thinks that their basement's falling because he's in basement construction.
Oh, so that was your little joke about my fucking downspout gutter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the PVC
that's what I.
pipe?
So
First of all, that shit was here when I fucking moved in.
I understand.
And
Two
I
blocks
built-
down, bro.
I built that fucking deck on the back deck by hand.
Looks
I
good.
built this incredible
Looks
garage
good.
by
Sweet.
myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2 blocks down, someone's rear foundation wall just collapsed. Just so you know.
I believe it.
Yeah, but I got your back. So, and then Derek, same thing.
Now you got to contact
The one
me.
problem wall, though, we did have a problem wall. It was definitely rebuilt. It's all new center block.
Yeah,
They rebuilt it.
yeah. This whole
So there was definitely, well, this is South Buffalo, home of the wet basement.
correct,
You will not have water in your basement
correct.
in this neighborhood.
Yeah,
Marymount, 2 blocks away. This fucking shit, I'm telling you,
that's where the wall collapsed.
boom.
Yeah.
I'm not even surprised by that.
Right.
Because that street right there, I shit you not, I've seen it after a rainstorm. You walk there, you'd be waist deep in water. Mm-hmm. It's like up to people, like halfway up people's cars.
It's flat here. For those that don't know Buffalo, like certain areas around Buffalo and within the city, it's just so flat. The water has nowhere to go, so it just sits against your house. These homes were built around the same time frame, and they're all either stone or cinder block, and the cinder block just can't handle it, so it just collapses. And if our graphic designer watches this episode, he's literally going to start making jokes and texting us, but whatever.
Correct.
So anyways, Derek got a career. We both made kind of around the same time frame, we both made the decision to just kind of like move away from going into law enforcement and then just doing what we were doing. We have this conversation all the time, like, do you regret it?
Yeah.
There's still a portion of us where I would say like 2%, we still kind of like have that urge and like want to be into law enforcement. But as you know, like it's very similar. Everyone's cut from the same cloth. Everyone has the same mindset. You just kind of click with those kind of people, and it's just one of those things. It's the same thing with he and I. Like, we just, between the friends we have and that whole mind, like it's a literal mindset going into it, and you just kind of know that. But I also grew up with that. My stepdad was a cop. He was a sheriff, and it's just like that's my whole life is law enforcement.
I feel like when you say we're all like cliquey and stuff, I don't hang out with a lot of cops.
Well, you're smoked, dude. You just want to go home and see your wife.
Like I want to hang out with my wife. I want to hang out with my kid. I want to like hang out with my buddies. A night out. This is a night out. Mm-hmm. A night out in the garage, where like I get to just chill out. My buddies come over. We drink good bourbon. We smoke good cigars. We talk about things that are on our mind, and we put a product out.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's always nice to have these same moments where we don't have a camera in front of us, and we do talk about some things that are a little more personal to us. And obviously, bourbon and cigars are a great opportunity to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's nothing better than sitting around and just letting everything go.
So have you ever actually thought about that? We've thought about this probably like about a year ago, is that now our life is online. And I hate that because I hate Facebook, I hate Instagram, I hate all social media platforms because they're just so toxic. But now our life like revolves around, I mean, not saying like
This is like
our
your hobby
job.
life. I know
Yeah.
we're not making
Right.
fucking career money on our
100%.
podcast, but
Yeah, exactly. But like your life, we upload 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of content. And
Sure.
it's just, we're always online. And I hate that, but love that because I'm a very private guy. I don't even post anything. The most recent post on my Facebook was when I just got married like 2 weekends ago.
I heard about it. We were gonna
Congratulations,
bring
by the
that
way.
up.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I
appreciate
wanted
that.
to ask you a question about your ring.
For sure, yeah. But then just
Cool
to finish
story.
this thought, oh, it's awesome. So, but like other than that picture, I haven't posted since like April of last year because I just hate online.
Our Facebooks are basically just the podcast.
Yeah. That's what it is now.
So that's why we have our group podcast page.
Yeah.
Like, so our Instagram's our main platform. Caleb does do the Facebook. He does post on that. But aside from that, I mean, my personal stuff is mostly, just like you said, it's me pumping out like, hey, go check out our new episodes.
Right.
Or go check out this interview that we did. Or you're not wrong. Your life, your spare time, a lot of your spare time becomes your podcast.
Which it's frustrating because, like you said in the beginning, a lot of people in the area don't want to see you succeed. So there's not a lot of engagement.
They
on
don't.
that,
I'll
which
say
is
that
so
right out
bad.
loud.
They don't.
I know they're never going to hear this.
Yeah.
Because they don't listen.
Correct.
They don't care.
They're
Correct.
going to when you get big.
If it happens.
Yes.
When you do, you're consistent, you'll eventually get there. So, but when you finally do, people will be like, oh my God, I knew him from back then. It's like,
Exactly.
But you didn't though, because you didn't support us when we wanted it. And like you guys are doing, you guys are promoting small businesses too, just like we are. Like, it's not like we're here promoting our own pockets. It's we're here to help Buffalo. Like, that's what bothers me the most. Is people don't want to get behind that.
Yeah, you didn't
strange.
you didn't come and you didn't enter those easy giveaways that we do.
Oh,
where
dude,
all you got to do
you
is
guys
like,
should do our giveaways. I know now you guys follow
Yeah,
us. I mean,
yeah.
we give away cigars and
And
bottles
and t-shirts.
and t-shirts and products all the time
and it's
for
it's
nothing.
It's
you don't even have to
easy.
do anything.
It's just like follow the Instagram, DM us, and that's it.
Our last giveaway was this most simple thing in the world. We were talking about. So I pulled up this clip. Usually we have this TV up.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could pull it up in a second, but I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. But we were watching this video from Halloween. It was like a daycare, and this lady put on like a ghost face mask, like the Scream mask, and was running around chasing all the kids in the daycare. These kids they had tears in their eyes. They're so scared, like freaking out. And part of me is like, my parents and my uncles and like my family members and people did shit like that to me every fucking day. But if I was paying somebody $500 a day to watch my kids, I'd be fucking livid.
Right.
So the idea behind the story was, tell us a story, just DM us a story. I'll read it as anonymous,
Sure.
right? And we'll read your story of like some, remember being a kid, your parents would fuck with you. Like if you were bad, where did they tell you were taking you?
Father
Probably
Baker.
Father
100%
Baker.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Or they had ways of making you fucking scared straight, essentially. So tell me your funniest fucking scared straight stories. And the best one I read on the air, I'll let you know that you're the winner, and I'll DM you that you won the cigars.
Oh,
That's
cool.
how easy it
Yeah.
was.
That's cool.
And then you just get to hear all these perspectives on how like different people, their parents fucking essentially just put them in line.
I gotta say,
it's funny.
not too many entries, but a lot that we had out of state, not New Yorkers.
All out of state.
It's so weird.
All
Yeah.
out of state.
We had people
Fun-
from Detroit, New Jersey, very heavy in New Jersey, downstate New York, like Long Islandish, but yeah,
Dirty Jers, baby. Shout
that's
out.
right. Yes,
It's so weird that Buffalo doesn't support.
They don't, and I just
When you said
I
that,
don't get it.
when you said that in the Hopper interview, I felt that in my soul because I'm like, they know it's just tough.
Do you guys get guys? So like, I don't know how it is when you guys go to work and stuff. I know guys know that you do podcasting.
Oh, yeah.
I know they know it. They ever bust your chop?
No. I
No,
actually
they
have...
ever like, oh, there he is, Buffalo Happy Hour.
We have a lot of, like, me personally, I have a lot of coworkers that actually listen to it and support it, which is
awesome.
Of
unheard
course,
of.
you'll have them.
Exactly.
But
there's
what
a
are-
lot of,
what-
there's,
what
a,
are-
there's a lot of people that don't say anything. They don't support anything. They know about it. They know it exists, and they're just like, oh, that's cool. And then that's it. And I'm just like, all right.
Yeah.
Like rock and roll, I guess.
We got dudes. I mean, the police sometimes they're rough, man. They're just like, you guys are losers. Like, dude, you're sitting around just drinking, smoking. Dude, ain't nobody listening to that shit.
to the earliest point that I wanted to elaborate on, like, we're in our 30s, right?
We don't go out. And
We
party
graduated.
crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, from 18 to now, it was a focus on education, getting credentials,
And getting fucked up.
and getting a job, getting a career.
chasing tail.
Jerry getting
chasing
fucked
girls.
up.
So yeah, but like once you have your career,
It's over.
you're good. But it's not that it's over. You're just your views change, and that's when your circle shrinks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
no
see
doubt,
like,
no doubt.
okay, all you want to do is go to the bar. Like, I'm focused on getting a job. Like, I'm taking a civil service exam. I got background checks. I have actual responsibilities that I have to obligate myself for, and I'm devoted to that cause. I'm not going to go spend $85 at the bar when I can put $85 not only towards a civil service test, but also a gym membership so I can stay in shape to get a career.
That's a
and your
fact.
circle gets even smaller. And Derek and I have had this conversation all the time. There's 50 seats on a bus, but there's 2 in a Lambo.
Yeah.
And your whole circle just shrinks and you realize what's actually important. Where now we're married, we have kids, you got a step kid like on top of your own, and you're focused on how do I provide for these people? How do I go home and look myself in the mirror and have some pride? How do I put my pants on in the morning and respect myself as a man? Because I'm like, my whole life I was supposed to be an alpha, I was supposed to be this and that, and now that I have these actual responsibilities and a mortgage on top of it, I'm not thinking about going to the bar to spend $85. Like, I have bigger things. Natural gas is super expensive, so you're only thinking about these things, and that's what I was bringing up about, like, people are cut from the same cloth, specifically in law enforcement and the military, because it's a level of responsibility that other people can't relate to. And for this, if other people within your field, in this case law enforcement, think you're a loser, like, okay,
I wouldn't
cool.
say they call you a loser
Well, no,
per
but-
se, but they definitely they bust your chops, and I think
Yeah.
it's because
They're
you're not
like,
hanging out at the
hey,
fucking bar every
Hey,
day.
it's that
Correct.
down to Herf guy.
Yeah, and-
Guys, you and Gio.
Yeah.
but
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, yeah, but dude, what else would I rather be doing? Like, to me, this is how I decompress. Like, work was stressful. This happened at work today. Most people aren't going to understand that, relate to it, or understand it. So if I'm going to smoke a cigar and drink some bourbon in the confines of my home, like, sure, make fun of me, but at least I'm trying to build something and then do something that relates to who I am as a person, like, whatever.
Hey guys, this is Jerry from Down to Herf. Just letting you guys know that that's going to be the end of our first part of our 2-part special with Buffalo Happy Hour. Make sure you guys tune back in on Thursday for part 2. And as always, smoke them if you got them, guys.